Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Good afternoon. I'm Ralph White, and we are Consulting to Win, and we're here to coach people to win in the game of business. We define winning as a result you can be accountable for, something you say you want, and you achieve it. Business is a game, and we coach people to play in a win-win model to maximize their success. Our purpose is for you, the listener, to experience the value of working with a business coach. What we're asking of you is to listen for an idea or a possibility that you will put into action to grow your business. Remember, no action, no results. So we're opening our show here on HealthyLife.net, and we're delighted to be on this network. I'm a business coach. I've been in the business of coaching people for the last 18 years. I've had the opportunity to work with over 5,000 people in that time period, working with business owners and managers in a wide variety of businesses, from doctors, lawyers, CPAs, all the way up to companies like American Express. I've had the good fortune of causing huge breakthroughs in businesses and huge wins with people in expanding their business, growing their business, creating amazing results with people during that time period. And we're here today to share some of the ideas, and this program is designed to support you in growing your business. If you're just getting into business, or you're in business, or you've been in business for a long period of time, we're here to support you and moving your business forward. I personally have had my own business for 38 years, before being a consultant. Some of the time that overlapped. I was in the fabrication business. I started with, the day I got out of high school with no experience, no money. So I know what it's like to not have money in business, in case there's anyone out there that has that experience. And I grew it up and merged it into another company, and it ended up being a $50 million a year in sales company. So I know what it's like to grow a business. I know what it's like to make a payroll every Friday. I know what it's like to manage people. And so I have hands-on experience in working with people, growing businesses, making sales, and dealing with the day-to-day operations of a business. So I'm here today to support you, to give you ideas. And this program is going to be continuing to bring you, cutting-edge ideas in the future on ways for you to address the various challenges that you're going to experience in business. I'm here today with one of my associates, a coach who works with me, that's been with me for 9 years, Leanne Farmer. Good morning, Leanne, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ralph. Happy to be here today.
Likewise. How are you? What's going on in your segment of working with your clients today?
Well, we're always busy at Possibilities Unlimited, and I do want our listeners to know that is the name of our coaching firm, Possibilities Unlimited, because as Ralph said, we always believe there is a possibility or a project for you to be working on in your business. So at our company, what we do is we work with all kinds of different business owners, managers, sales managers, whoever is maybe facing a roadblock, a challenge in their business, and we coach them to create results that they might not have thought of or thought to be possible. So we are in the business of creating those possibilities and working with people to see them through.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's some of the examples? Let's give the listeners some examples of some of the people, some of the clients that we've worked with in the last 18 years.
Well, it really crosses all boundaries. We've worked with restaurants, law firms, PR folks. We've worked with contractors, window and door companies. You name it, we've worked with just about every kind of company, from the smallest of the small to companies that are well over $100 million in sales.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that people often wonder when they are contemplating working with a coach is, will that person understand my business?
Right.
So when I know you hear that a lot, Ralph, how do you respond when someone says, well, but I'm a plumber and you don't know anything about plumbing. How are you going to help me?
What's interesting, that's very an interesting question. The aspects of business are the same regardless of what the product is. I tell them, I'm not going to teach you about plumbing, or I'm not going to teach you about being an electrician. I'm going to teach you about business. I'm going to teach you to be an entrepreneur. That aspect, sales, managing money, managing employees, growing your business, the tools of business are universal, regardless of what kind of business you're in. Those tools are the same in every business. So that's what I bring. And the fact that I've worked with, and we've worked with, so many different kinds of businesses, we actually have an advantage in that we can bring ideas from other industries that it will be beneficial to you. Because oftentimes industry-specific firms, consulting firms, get locked into this is the way things are, and they don't bring in outside the box ideas.
Right. Right.
So it really limits them. People, we get locked into a certain paradigm, and that's the only solution that we see or allow ourselves to see. And out of doing that, we stay in a rut. And in today's market, what you can count on is things are going to change. That always. And if you're not willing to change, your business is going to stagnate.
Yeah. So how would someone know that they need a coach, or what would be the thought process behind, I think I need a coach? How do they know they need you?
Well, my answer to that is, everyone needs a coach. I mean, if you look at it, every great athlete, every great performer has a coach. If you want to excel in business, you should have a coach. I mean, if you want that extra competitive edge, if you want somebody in your corner supporting you, I advise you to have a coach. But if you can't afford a coach on an ongoing basis, how you know you need a coach is when you bump up against a situation where you don't have an answer. When you see that I'm in an area that I can't see the answer, I don't have an answer, that's when you should get consulting. The advantage of having a coach is that they reduce the learning curve, both in time and in cost. My objective is to reduce that cost of that learning curve. I mean, I don't come from a standpoint that I've done everything right and you should do it like me. I actually come from a standpoint that I probably made most of the mistakes that you can make, and I can save you from making those mistakes.
Right.
And if I haven't made it, I know somebody else who has. So I can tell you the bumps in the road that are down the path, so that you can avoid driving into those bumps. And that's basically one of the advantages of working with a coach. So you want to find somebody that has some experience. You want to find somebody that can help ease that trip, and speed up so that you can go faster. So that you can move your business with more velocity.
Right. And I think another hesitation we often come up against with people that are trying to make that decision if they want to work with a coach is the fear that the coach is going to have an agenda that is going to impact my business. And what we really are is an impartial third party. We don't have an agenda towards your business. We're in business for ourselves as coaches. We're not interested in getting into the plumbing business.
Correct.
So we don't bring an agenda that's going to change the essence of you and how you do business.
Yeah, it's actually, I've had cases where a client will say, I want to go north. And so based on their decision of I want to go north, we start creating a plan and working on an agenda and actions to go north. And then they come to the call and they say, I've changed my mind and I want to go south. And I look at it and they legitimately have changed their mind. So I start creating a plan to go south. And they say, well, how can you were convinced and you had a very strong plan to go north and now you're just changed and now you've got a great plan to go south. How come you can change so easily? I said, because I'm not attached. I don't have any agenda. If you want whatever direction you want to go, as long as you're committed to that direction, I'll get behind it. Because in fact, I don't have an agenda. Matter of fact, a good coach will tell you if they do have an agenda. Like if a client has something that I have some energy on, if I have a past experience to where I have something that would impact my decision, I will divulge that to them, to where my decision would lean this direction because of this experience, and you need to know that, because it's my duty to let them know that. Because it wouldn't be integrous to not make them aware of that.
Right.
Right.
Now, at the beginning, you asked me what kind of companies we work with.
Right.
And as I said, it really goes across the board. But maybe it would help our listeners if you gave a few examples of some of the companies that you've worked with, some of the types of industries that you worked with, and some of the results that you've been able to create with those companies.
Well, I have a company in the service trade that we started with where the owner, they had been in business for about 10 years. They had reached sales. They had about 7 employees. They had sales were about $700,000 a year with 7 employees, and they'd kind of maxed out at the level that the owner was able to accomplish. They were going along at that level. The owner realized that he'd reached a point where he just didn't know what to do next. And he was talking to a friend of his in the construction business, and that friend recommended that I was actually working with his friend, and his friend recommended that he talk with me. We have a conversation. He decided to hire me. So I started coaching him, and I recognized that what was missing for him is his ability to sell. He wasn't selling. He was sitting waiting for the phone to ring. So he was taking orders, but he wasn't selling. So
we see that a lot, don't we?
Yes, definitely. People think that they wait for the phone to ring. They wait for people to walk in. That's not selling. That's order taking. That's like working at Jack in the Box.
Right.
Waiting for the phone to ring. So I gave him some training in sales. And he created a marketing plan, and he started taking action in that arena. He had a number of employee challenges, and one of the things that I train people in is that it's essential to have a successful business that you get the right people on the bus sitting in the right seats. And I find in most businesses we start with, they have people on the bus that don't belong there, and they have people sitting in the wrong seats. So we got to move people around, and we got to stop the bus and give people an opportunity to get off. And when we get that handled, then we get the right team in the right place, and he had to make some changes there, and then we're ready to move forward faster. And so he actually, in a period of about 4 or 5 years, grew his business up to where it was about a $3.5 million a year company. And that's a very substantial growth for a company of that nature. And it come out of him growing. Your business is a reflection of you. Oftentimes, the business owner is the limiting factor.
True.
Yeah. It's really the business owner sets the parameters of how much the business can grow. I sometimes look at a business, if a business is a tree and a business owner is standing there, they're standing there with their arms around the business and they're locking their fingers on the other side. The business grows until their fingers start to move apart, and the business owner is faced with the choice of either getting someone else to get on the other side and join with them to allow it to grow, or choke it back down so that they can continue to manage it and stunt its growth. And oftentimes they do that because they can't choose someone to join their team to help manage it. So they've really got, the owner has to grow in order for the business to grow.
So did that client keep his business or sell his business, or
That client kept his business, is growing it. He actually has an intention of being a $6 million a year business, and he's well on his way to do that. He has a project that could easily make that happen.
Now, you mentioned the word intention just then. Maybe
Yes.
we should take a moment and talk a little bit to our listeners about how we create intentions with the companies that we work with.
Certainly.
And what that means.
So I look at an intention as something that you create, that you are committed to accomplishing, that you don't necessarily know how to do, but you're committed to it. So a goal is something that you create from the past. A goal is something that you look into the past and say, last year we did $1 million worth of sales, and we can build on that, go a little bit faster, and possibly do $1.2 million worth of sales this year. So that's based on the premise that the past is going to repeat itself, which is really a fallacy because it's impossible for the past to repeat itself. So, but that's how goals are achieved. They're built on the past. Now, an intention is like looking out at the horizon and seeing beyond the horizon. An intention is chosen from the world of possibilities. It's something that you looked out and said, of all of the things that are possible, I'm choosing this. Now, my business is currently $1 million in sales. My intention is $2 million in sales. Okay? That's well beyond what's predictable. It's well beyond, being a goal. It's something that's really going to stretch me. But what that does is it provides me with a tool that I'm going to use to make something happen that wasn't going to happen anyway. So it's not a goal, it's a tool. And what it does is it gets me into the realm of some possibilities. I can't get to the $2 million doing what I did before.
Exactly.
Right. I have to do something different. I have to be open to new possibilities because I have to have more people. I have to have more sales. I have to have something different has to happen. So by taking on that intention, by committing to that intention, I have to be willing to take different actions, make something different happen.
And it really opens up a whole new frame of mind.
Right.
You talked about how the owner has to change, or the person that we're coaching with really has to kind of have a shift that occurs. And it's always exciting to see that happen when they look at the intention that they've created and really start seeing that this is possible.
Right. Yeah, it stretches the mind into a whole new place. One of the things that we do in our coaching is that it's like Einstein said that the problem, and this is a very poor quote on Einstein, so I apologize, Mr. Einstein, but that the problem is never solved at the level of the problem. or the thinking is never solved with the thinking at the level of the problem. You've got to get above the problem in order to solve the problem. So whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you need one salesman, work on the problems of coming up with 5. You will find bigger solutions. So we're going to be taking a break, and when we come back from that break, we're going to look at other companies that we've worked with and other breakthroughs that we've caused with our clients.
Bring your company's website's visual presence to a new level with customized, cutting-edge site solutions. LandauDesign.com can maximize the productivity of your website. They'll analyze everything you have and then creatively design a customized plan for your website that includes search engine optimization, online marketing, easy content management, and measurable results. LandauDesign.com can boost your web presence so that you can draw more customers to your site and keep their attention so they stay on your site longer. For more information, call 310-374-0670. That's 310-374-0670 or visit online at LandauDesign.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
Put a little light in your life and keep it shining with Intellectric.net, a full-service lighting design company. If you need a top electrical contracting firm to deal with all facets of electrical, from concept to completion, including repair, call Intellectric.net at 310-838-5486. They can use green technology. They are home automation specialists, and they are high-end residential specialists. With prompt and efficient service, Intellectric.net has over 10 trucks, 28 employees, and on-call electricians available to handle your needs. Educated in state-of-the-art techniques and technology for all your electrical needs. Call dependable, innovative Intellectric.net today at 310-838-5486. Keep your light shining. Call 310-838-5486 or visit online at Intellectric.net.
HealthyLife.net for healthy side effects.
Welcome back. This is Ralph White with Consulting to Win and Leanne Farmer, and we're talking about our different coaching clients and experience and what it's like to work with a coach.
Right. We really want to have our listeners get a feel for the possibility of working with a business coach in your business and get you interested in that possibility. So I was hoping, Ralph, that you could kind of tell our listeners what it's like the first couple of sessions when you are learning about the person's business, what kind of questions you ask, what are you looking for in the first couple of how do you get started with a coach?
To start working with a coach, you want to look for someone that you feel that you can connect with, that you can relate with, that you trust. There's in communication, it's about 30% verbal and about 70% in the unsaid. So there's, can you relate to this person? Do you trust the individual? Do you have a sense that this individual's got something that can guide you? Usually it's nice if you can get a referral to a coach. If does this coach have experience? Do they have other clients that you can get referrals from? There's a lot of people out there coaching. When I started coaching, it was a new industry, and there weren't a lot of people in coaching. And I want to clarify the difference between coaching and consulting. So my definition is that coaching has to do with improving the performance of an individual. Consulting has to do with improving the performance of a business. So you hire a consultant to come in to help to improve the performance of the business. You hire a coach to improve your performance in the business.
Right.
So we do both. We both coach the owners, we coach the managers, to individually improve their performance. And then we coach the business to improve its performance. Mm-hmm. So once you've chosen this person that you feel that you can relate with, then when I choose a coach, and I have a coach, when I choose a coach, the first thing I do is I tell them my idiosyncrasies. I don't want to waste my money having them taking the time for them to find out, because they're going to find it out. If they're an intelligent, good coach, they're going to find it out. Like, for instance, if I'm really busy, really overloaded, I stop communicating. So if I stop communicating, that's a sign that I'm overloaded. So I tell them right up front, if I'm not returning your emails, if I'm not communicating, it's because I'm overloaded. So that they know what's going on with me.
That's some of that unsaid
Correct.
business.
Exactly. Yes.
A lot of people aren't as aware of their idiosyncrasies as you are, I think.
Well,
so sometimes when you're sitting in the coach's chair and you're trying to dig into what some of the issues are, a lot of times we have people come to us and they don't know what their issues are. Or they have a vague feeling like, I want to be making more money, or I may want to sell this business. How do you start zeroing in on what it is they need to work on?
Well, I work with people to get them to see what where they're coming from. I don't, I in my mind, I play a game with myself, and it's, if I tell the client something, I give myself a half a point. If the client says it, I give myself 2 points. So I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. As a coach, I have a very highly polished question mark. And so I ask a lot of questions. I mean, I had a client the other day that she asked me a question. I knew about something about herself. She says, I know you know this about me. Please tell me the answer. And I responded with a question. She says, no, I want you to tell me why this, what's this quality in me? What's the answer? And I ask her another question. She says, you're not going to tell me the answer, are you? And I asked her another question until she finally saw it for herself. Because if we see it for ourselves, we have more value in it. If somebody tells it to us, we treat it like advice. We treat and it doesn't have as much value. We don't, it's like, somebody else could tell us, our mother could tell us, our father could tell us, and we don't pay any attention to it. I oftentimes have situations where I work with husbands and wives together in a business.
Right.
And I'll tell the husband something, and he'll agree with it and do it. And then the wife will say, I've been telling you that for years, and now we're paying this guy, and he tells it to you, and you listen to it. And she'll say, why don't you just pay me and listen to me? So it's all in how we listen to the person that we're working with.
Yeah, I loved how you said that we don't necessarily give advice.
Right.
Another one of our consultants on staff, Mary Mollenhoff, she calls us possibility partners.
Right.
And I think that rings so true, because we really are in the business of helping you find those possibilities and partnering with you in your business to make those possibilities come true.
Definitely. Because who I am and when I'm coaching someone is that regardless of where they're at, that there's always a possibility. If two people engage in a conversation and look for a possibility, and I say two people because one person can't always find it by themselves. But if two people engage in a conversation, look for a possibility, there's always one there. Regardless of what the situation is, and then once you find that possibility, there's some action that you can take to move towards it.
What about folks who are just starting a business, or they have a business idea, or they've just started a really small business, and there's so much to learn? How do you go about helping someone like that?
Well, I can tell you right away that they probably don't have any money, and that's the biggest challenge, but they have an idea. And I start to look at where, how can they come up with money? I was working with a gentleman on Saturday who, this is Consulting to Win, and we're going to be taking a break here, and this is Ralph White and Leanne Farmer, and we'll be back in just a few seconds.
And in the next segment, we'll be talking about our whole life matrix, which is something quite interesting that Ralph has developed in the world of business coaching. So stay tuned.
Imagine possibilities unlimited. Well, they're here, and they want to help your business. Possibilities Unlimited offers the best business consulting and coaching that provides incredible results. Ralph White and his team of experts bring a variety of experience and expertise to your business. Discover how their whole life matrix can positively affect your personal and business life. Focusing on key challenges, they'll devise a customized plan and give you the support you need every step of the way until you achieve your intended results. Call Possibilities Unlimited today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538. No business is too big or too small. Possibilities Unlimited can help them all. Call now at 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
Oh man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
This is Ralph White and Consulting to Win, and Leanne Farmer's here with me today, and we're to talk to you about our whole life matrix.
That's right. Recently, Ralph developed quite an interesting approach to how we like to coach people. And he has called it the whole life matrix. It has a lot going on in it that we won't be able to touch on every little bit of it today, but I'm hoping that we can give the listeners kind of a broad sense of what you're talking about. Now, what exactly does it mean to have a whole life matrix?
Well, it's it's the coaching model that I'm basing our coaching on, and it's where I look at life in four different quadrants, four elements of that are necessary for a balanced life. One is financial viability, one is relationships, another is health and well-being, and the other one is personal awareness.
Right.
So I've divided life into those four areas that covers all of the different aspects of life.
And business. What we want to make clear is that your business is part of your whole life.
Correct.
And we feel that the two are entwined,
Right.
and not unhappily so.
Correct.
Now, what led you to come up with this?
Well, I kept seeing that people go into business with this concept: if I'm self-employed, I'm going to have a better quality of life, more free time, and make more money. That was what they're thinking, and what they ended up with is working longer hours, making less money, and giving up, spending time with their family, giving up taking care of themselves, and having any personal awareness or any spirituality in their life. Their business, and I'm speaking also from personal experience at a time in my life that everything was my business, and that we just totally ignored the other aspects of life. And I saw that it really didn't lead to a balanced life. And it really, takes you off course, and you get so wrapped up in your business that you just totally ignore the rest of the aspects of what's essential in having a high quality of life.
Right.
So, I realized that to really improve the quality of life, we have to have all four sections, all four quadrants. And I've come to the conclusion that nothing happens that isn't put in time. The one thing that's always present when you're doing something is a period of time. So, and that's something you're going to hear me say over and over again on this radio program.
Right.
So, I'm very much, grounded in that. So I look at, if you're going to spend time with your family, you're going to have to schedule some time to do that. If you're going to spend time with your friends, you're going to have to schedule time to do that. If you're going to have, a healthy life, you're going to have to schedule some time to do that. Everybody has 168 hours in a week, no more, no less. People say, I'm so busy, I don't have enough time. Well, everybody gets the same amount of time. Matter of fact, all you get in life is time. You are born, you have time, you die. So it's really how we spend that time, how we allocate that time, determines the quality of life that we have. So I look at, what's in your calendar. If you want something in this lifetime, it's got to show up in your calendar.
That's right.
Your calendar is a picture of the results that you're going to have in the future.
Well, and it's just like you wouldn't go to the dentist without scheduling an appointment.
Nope.
And so in your business and your life, let's say your activity is sales. We find this a lot, that people don't schedule a time in the week that they're going to work on sales.
Exactly.
But if they do schedule it and show up for it, just like they would show up for that dentist appointment, they're going to start to see results.
Right. I find that people are very reliable. I would say probably 95% reliable when they schedule an appointment with someone else. And then I would say they're probably about 20% reliable when they schedule an appointment for themselves. When we schedule, and I'm making a generality here, but when we schedule appointments to do something for ourselves, we lie to ourselves. And then the appointment shows up, and then we don't do it, and then we move on, and we don't reschedule it. We act like, okay, I was supposed to go to the gym this morning. I didn't go to the gym. And we sort of like pretend like, because I didn't go to the gym this morning, I don't have to go. Instead of like, okay, I've got to make up that appointment by going, for twice as much time tomorrow. We just sort of pretend like it disappeared because we didn't do it.
Right. Right. And we'll be talking about this scheduling things in time. As Ralph said, this
Definitely.
is a concept that fits into almost all of the coaching that we do,
Yes.
the calendar. And I want to go over again the 4 quadrants, just in case people didn't hear that. The 4 quadrants of this whole life matrix are financial viability, and that kind of concerns all the pieces of your business and your personal finances, relationships, personal awareness, and health and well-being. And then on the matrix, we drill down in each one of these areas. There are a lot of portions or sections of the matrix in each one of those areas that we drill down on with our clients. And depending on what issues are kind of bubbling up to the surface will be the quadrant that we're working on at any particular time.
Right. Yeah, because once we determine, what you can actually, you can get to the core of the matter by listening what they're complaining about. I don't have enough of X. Then you ask them, how much time are you spending on X? And then you can pretty much, the answer will be nothing. I don't have enough sales. How much time are you spending on sales? Well, I'm not spending any time on sales. I don't have, my relationship with my wife, or I don't have any friends, or my health isn't, very good, or I don't have any personal time. I don't relax. Whatever it is, you'll find that they're not scheduling any time, or if they are, they're not showing up for it. So I immediately ask them, how much time are you going to schedule in your calendar? And then I ask them when, between what hour and what hour. And then, I ask them, when to confirm on our next call that they're going to do that. So.
Right. And it's such a good system because, like you were saying, we really want to tie in the fulfillment of life with the fulfillment of having a healthy business. And in the whole life matrix, we can do that.
Right, exactly. So this is Consulting to Win, and this is Ralph White and Leanne Farmer. And we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Leanne's going to tell us about some sales experience.
There are 3 wise women at Possibilities Unlimited, and if you want to improve your business's bottom line, you'll want to get to know them because they want to help you with your business, and they can. Wise web woman Bonnie Landau will help make your website the best it can be. She'll help you with all web-related things, including social media. Wise marketing woman Mary Mullinoff wields her magic to find and obtain sales leads for you, and she'll help you identify and qualify prospects. Leanne Farmer, wise work, life woman, hones your customer relations, communications, and sales skills as she teaches you how to manage your work and life in balance. There are options of coaching with one or all 3 wise women. Get to know them now. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. That's consulting2win.com.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Demystify the world of social marketing and get it to work for you. You can maximize your market potential in sales, and Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited can help. Discover how to use Twitter, LinkedIn, and more to market your business. Learn how to expand your prospect base, improve your web presence, but more importantly, get results. Your possibilities are unlimited. Social networking can impact your bottom line in a positive way. Find out how with Bonnie Landau of Possibilities Unlimited. Call today at 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538 or visit consulting2win.com. Consulting2win.com.
Now get worry-free shopping for window treatments, decorative rugs, bedding and bath items, furniture, lighting, wall decor, and more. You don't have to leave home and fight the traffic. You can buy online from one of the most trusted brands in America. Try Sears Showplace on HealthyLife.net's homepage. Satisfaction guaranteed, and there's no hassle returns. Try Sears Showplace today because they service what they sell, have protection plans, and you can even get parts and accessories. So for worry-free shopping and great items, visit Sears Showplace now.
All positive talk with a mature edge. HealthyLife.net.
This is Ralph White with Consulting to Win, along with Leanne Farmer here today, and we're talking about sales. And Leanne, what do we got coming up to train people in sales, which is the most important thing about business?
That's absolutely right. At Possibilities Unlimited, we often say that sales is the heartbeat of your business.
Definitely.
If you're not selling, you're not going to be making any money. And what we often find is that people don't know how to sell. Maybe they are good at cooking, or they're a chef in a restaurant, or they are a contractor, but they've never spent time learning how to sell. So we've come up with a program that we like to call Sales to Win. And it's an 8-week training course to teach you the nuts and bolts of how to sell. And we are going to be rolling this program out in the very near future. You'll be able to learn more about it on our website, which, by the way, you can look for us on the web at www.consultingtowin. That's consulting, the number 2, win.com. So what we've done with the Sales to Win program is we've tried to break down the pieces of the sales process into 8 distinct steps. And we go into the basics of how to identify prospects, how to do your research, how to find those people that are going to want to buy your product.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So in identifying prospects, I like looking at sales as from the standpoint of, if you have a sufficient number of opportunities for sales. I really think people don't pay enough attention to that, and that's why we spend so much time in that program looking at that. You can be inept at selling, and if you have a sufficient number of opportunities, an abundance of opportunities, you will have lots of sales.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Ralph often makes the comparison of it's kind of like fishing with the right bait.
Right.
You don't want to go deep sea fishing in a lake. It's just not going to work. You've got to be looking in the right places for the right kind of people that want to buy your product and who also have the resources to buy it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels. So we offer in this course a lot of tactics and strategies for how to find good prospects, kind of how much time you need to be spending on that activity, how to schedule that in your calendar, as Ralph has said before. And then we get into other aspects of the sales process, such as how then, once you've identified who those prospects are, how do you approach them? What do you say? What kinds of materials do you need to be able to present to them? What is your presence in the internet marketplace? Have you looked at what your web presence is? Because we all have one, usually. We talk a lot about search engine optimization, social networking. All of those are aspects of the sales process that a lot of people haven't had enough training on and aren't spending enough time on.
Yeah, in your specialty, in the CRM part, what are some of the things that you give them in that segment? Right.
CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And we find that a lot of companies aren't spending enough time on that part of their business either. They're sticking business cards in coffee cans. They're still using paper Rolodexes. And we really try to coach people into getting some kind of a system that's flexible, that at your fingertips you can keep track of every time you've spoken to a prospect or a client, what kind of referrals you have for these people, what kind of products you've offered them, so that you always at a moment's notice can kind of bring yourself up to speed on everyone in your database. And we encourage you to amass as big a database of prospects as you can get, because you always want to be selling. So we work on customer relationship management quite a bit in the Sales to Win program.
Right. Excellent. What's some of the other, I know there's a presentation segment in there where that we help people, how important that is. And then,
Right.
I know that's a very important segment, but really the creating those opportunities, finding out things about your clients. And then I like the part where you said, make sure that they have the money to buy your
Right.
product.
Right.
Don't, I see too many people trying to sell to people who cannot afford to buy their product.
And that is not a winning game.
No.
You're not going to win that game.
Yeah, I don't care how good or how great a presentation you make. If the client cannot afford to buy the product, they're not going to buy.
Right. And the name of our course is Sales to Win.
Right.
We want you to win. We believe in winning. We think winning is a wonderful thing, and
Right.
that you shouldn't feel guilty about winning in the game of sales.
Right.
So we do spend a lot of time helping you find places where those prospects tend to be.
Right.
Part of that identifying prospects, and we help you develop marketing campaigns. What's the best way to go about reeling in that big fish that's going to be just the right person for what it is that you're selling? And we get into what I like to call talking the talk. It's really easy to give people a lot of advice and even a script for how to make sales calls on the phone or if you're at a networking event. But until you've really practiced hearing those words come out of your mouth and really gotten some sales under your belt, it's quite intimidating. So we coach people on how to get over those roadblocks if they've never done a lot of this before.
Right. Another thing we coach people on is creating a campaign, to where you actually, the sale doesn't stop with just handing people a proposal. I see too many times that people go out, find a possibility, get an opportunity to make a proposal, deliver the proposal, and then sit and wait for the client to call.
Right.
And that's not selling. Selling is having a campaign where you're doing the follow-up. You have an ongoing campaign of connecting with the client, having reasons to call back to them, having ways to connect with them. I look at it that once we get a potential, someone has the potential of using our product or service into the system, the only way they get out of the system is that they die.
Right. So we go into that and we teach people how to handle objections, to close the deal. It's a great training program. So I really encourage our listeners to look for it on the web at www.consultingtowin.com. It's our Sales to Win program, and check it out. It's great sales training.
Yeah. So we're going to be having a number of our clients on the radio show. We've invited them to call in to discuss some of the ground that they've taken out of working with us. So we intend to have them as guests to where you can have an opportunity to call in and ask questions. So you're going to actually get that opportunity to talk to people that we've worked with, to inquire as to how it is to work with a coach. Working with a coach provides you with an opportunity to move forward faster. It provides you with someone that's going to be in your corner, supporting you to win in the game. And that's something that is very valuable in the area of business.
Because this show is called Consulting to Win.
Right.
We want you to win the game of business.
Yes. So this is Ralph White and Leanne Farmer, and we're going to take a break here in just a second.
Bring your company's website's visual presence to a new level with customized, cutting-edge site solutions. LandauDesign.com can maximize the productivity of your website. They'll analyze everything you have and then creatively design a customized plan for your website that includes search engine optimization, online marketing, easy content management, and measurable results. LandauDesign.com can boost your web presence so that you can draw more customers to your site and keep their attention so they stay on your site longer. For more information, call 310-374-0670. That's 310-374-0670 or visit online at landaudesign.com. Whether your business is in products or services, one thing you need to be successful is sales. And now you can take the mystery out of selling and discover how to consistently produce top sales results with Possibilities Unlimited 8-week Sales to Win course. The Sales to Win course can be attended by anyone from anywhere because it's given by conference call. You'll be taught by top sales and marketing experts all about the sales process, and you'll be given top techniques and tips. It's all simply broken down for you and presented in a stress-free environment. But the best thing is, it's so affordable. It's money well spent because you'll make even more money back with your increased sales. Don't wait. Enroll in the Sales to Win course for yourself and your sales staff right now. You won't want to miss this opportunity to raise your bottom line. Call 310-372-8538. That's 310-372-8538.
Uplifting talk. HealthyLife.net.
At Consulting to Win, our purpose is to coach you in your business life to be a winner. The question is, are you ready to win? If you are, contact us and we will support you in making that happen. Our play of the week is spend 2 hours per day selling. And that means talking to people who have the potential of buying your product or service. And then come back next week and either call in or email us at ralph@consultingtowin, that's the number 2.com, with the results that you produced out of that marketing 2 hours a day. With that, now you are ready to win.